Before history was written, before cities rose, only the wild remained. This is the Paleolithic world, a place of immense beauty but constant challenge. Survival is not a choice, it is an absolute necessity. Our ancestors were wanderers, defined by the movement of herds and the dictates of the season. Every breath was a gamble. When darkness fell, the only sanctuary was the cave mouth, a natural fortress against the night's terrors. Then came the greatest discovery: fire. It meant warmth, safety, and crucially, cooking. Fire was the heart that gathered them. It brought together the tribe, a family bound by shared breath and mutual need. They learned to read the earth, berries in summer, roots in autumn. Knowledge was passed from mouth to hand, seed to seed. Tools were extensions of the mind, sharp edges chipped from flint, weighted with intention and necessity. But sustenance came from the beast. The hunt demanded every ounce of skill, patience, and coordination. They tracked magnificent creatures, the great bison, the saber-toothed cats, the powerful mammoth. Life was a dance with predators. No man hunted alone. Strategy was everything. They used traps, coordinated movements, and collective strength. The stalk was silent. Tension builds. The moment of impact. Years of learning converged into this single deadly breath. The grueling work was done. Though exhaustion settled deep in their bones, there was always relief, followed by rest. Every part mattered. Bones for tools, sinew for rope, fat for fuel. Waste was unthinkable. They were masters of scarcity. Their life was brutal, but it was rich with ingenuity, resilience, and profound community bonds. Life demanded constant innovation. Tools broke, required sharpening, and needed repair using bone or hardwood. They became adept at crafting from the environment, hides for warm clothes, branches for temporary shelters. Knowledge was tribal law. The young learned through observation, mimicry, and the patient guidance of their elders. The rivers were lifeblood, but they also held dangers. They learned to read the flow, purify, and respect every drop. The diet was cyclical, a perfect balance of protein from the hunt and the reliable energy from gathered roots and berries. Nothing was wasted. The bone became a needle, the sinew became fishing line. Efficiency defined existence. When land failed, they turned to the water's edge. Spears were sharpened, nets woven from fibrous plants. The world was not always friendly. They faced competition from rival tribes or dangerous wildlife itself. Defense required unity and courage. When the adrenaline faded, they sat by the fire. Time for stories, time to simply exist in shared warmth. Survival was physical, but the human spirit required more. It needed to tell stories. It needed meaning. They looked at the cave walls and saw not just rock, but a canvas. Their deepest thoughts found expression in ochre and charcoal. These carvings were more than decoration. They were maps of the spiritual world, records of hunts, prayers for success, or tributes to the departed. The simple grunts of survival gave way to complex language, 1,000 words, each holding history and emotion. They discovered sound. Bones became flutes, hides were struck to create rhythm, music became the invisible glue of the tribe. They understood their place in the vast, indifferent universe. Stories about creation and spirits that watched over them all took root. The mastery grew exponentially. New weapons appeared, the atlatl, extending the power and reach of their throw. They started asking why, not just how. The abstract thought, the concept that something could exist without needing to eat it. Every skill was a sacred trust. The elder would sit with the apprentice, demonstrating flawlessly, teaching not just survival but how to live. They were a network of shared experience. Success was never individual, it belonged to the collective heartbeat of the tribe. The world did not stay still. Glaciers shifted, forests changed, and the familiar rhythms of life began to falter. The pressure forced them to adapt faster. They had to become not just skilled hunters, but resourceful innovators. Their deepest gift was their collective memory. The stories, the art, the language, these were seeds waiting to be planted. They walked towards the dawn of complexity. From simple survival, they moved towards civilization, towards the first settlements, and the great wheel of culture. They carved their existence into the very fabric of time. They were more than just cavemen. They were the architects of humanity itself. The echoes of their footsteps still guide us. Their spirit, the enduring need to connect, create, and survive, is etched into every story we tell. Pause. They taught us how to be human.